are brought into the sanctuary, we welcome the procession of the Torahs. Here we go. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Cousin Randall Lee.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through
Board of Trustees, welcome to this event marking the dedication of our new Sefer Torah in memory of Harriet Tabak, and welcome to this morning as we dedicate our new upstairs Simcha room to be known as the Elaine and Harold Kaplan Simcha room. I would like to acknowledge the presence and honor the presence of Joseph Tabak and his family, Jeff and Marilyn, Stephen and Kathy, grandchildren, Gail, Brad, Rachel, Max, and Aaron. And as well, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Harold Kaplan, who came in from Florida, as well as Deborah and Jeffrey Levine, also from Florida, and Frederick and Tina Kaplan from Philadelphia. We are so honored that you are all here to be with us this morning. And so many people with us this morning to participate in our dedication ceremony. Allow me to recognize and honor the presence of Rabbi Yaakov and Dora Hilsenrath, who was present when the last Torah was dedicated many, many years ago. This was also a simcha, and this is a chain, a link in the chain of simchas and Torah dedication that we acknowledge and honor this morning as well. We want to acknowledge the presence of our newly re-elected council member, Gabriel Mittler, the president of Jewish Federation, Greater Middlesex County, Seth Gross, who's also by us a member. And we're honored to have Executive Director of the Jewish Federation of Greater Middlesex County, Jared Kamira, here, as well as Lee Livingston, past president of Jewish Federation of Greater Middlesex County. And welcome all guests and people, friends and family. We want to take a moment to acknowledge and honor the lead gifts to our Torah dedication. And it was remarkable. Brendan Dwight Tansman and Rona and Jeffrey Shine, who together are remembering Norman and Marion Tansman and honoring Herb and Mildred Tansman with their gift of the book of Breshit, Genesis. And Gail and Uri Mittler, who have dedicated the book of Exodus because of a 3-generation connection to that book. Paul Mittler of blessed memory, Uri and Stephen, all have had their bar mitzvahs from the book of Exodus, and to honor their family, they've dedicated that book. Beverly Teich dedicated the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, in memory of Esther and Al Tarler, and Isidore and Ella Rems, and we thank you for that dedication. Stuart and Sheila Kotler, Donald and Barbara Kotler, remembering Stuart's parents and Donald's parents, Mildred and Aaron Kotler, longtime members of our shul, as well as their brother Richard. And they have donated the gift of the book of Dvarim, which is important in their family's life, and we honor the presence also of their grandchildren, Lisa and Howard Schaefer, and great-grandchildren, Ethan and Andrew Schaefer, here this morning. Benjamin and Andrew, together with Ira's sister, Susan Cohen-Slavitt, in memory of Bessie and William Levine and Ruth and Boris Corman. So we honor all of those gifts, dedications. They are the lead gifts, as well as the following. Because as you know, sadly on Friday morning, our longtime member Edith Kesselman passed away. And knowing that we would be commemorating this wonderful dedication of a new Torah, her sons David and Stephen have dedicated the Rosh Hashanah reading in her memory and in their father's memory, and we are so grateful to them. And the holiday dedication is alongside holiday readings and dedications of Drs. Ted and Eva Stahl for Simchas Torah in memory of their beloved son Doug, and the Yom Kippur reading by Lynn and Barry Sherman in memory of Lynn's father, Carl Rebarber. And these gifts constitute the leading gifts to our Torah dedication campaign, and we are so grateful to you, to your families, for your generosity and leadership. Thank you to all of you. I have to tell you, this has been an amazing and extraordinary endeavor. There's no question that next to our Livnot campaign in the aftermath of the fire, this has been the largest fundraising project in recent memory. It was almost a year ago when we lost Harriet Tabak. Everyone here remembers Harriet, an incredible woman, so full of life, so full of humor and generosity and brimming with a love of life and a love of her family and a love of her shul. So when we began to think about a way to remember her in the temple, I turned to Joe and I asked him to consider giving a Torah in her memory. Harriet was central to the shul, and the shul is central, the Torah is central to the shul as well. The shul needs a new Torah, I said, and it was no sooner said than done. Joe and his sons Stephen and Jeffrey agreed, and here we are today. Our committee, chaired by Sam Cammons and David Brotman, began to meet, and with over 250 dedications from the shul and beyond, this new Torah is a reality. Together, we raised approximately $225,000. These dedications are amazing in their scope. From letters, to single words, to names, to multiples of each of those, and the lead gifts which I've already mentioned. Each dedication in our Torah tells a story. Each dedication discloses a different connection to the Torah. And what is remarkable is that every person involved saw his or her own personal connection in an emotional and deeply personal way. For some it was the letter of the first name, the name itself. For others it was a word, a particular word that resonated with them, a word that had meaning. For others yet, it was a particular verse that spoke to them, either because it encapsulated a value in their lives, or it reflected something deep and personal. So many connected to a particular aliyah or a chapter because it resonated with them, or because it was connected to them as part of their own lives through a bar and bat mitzvah. This is a magnificent story. The dedication of this Torah is not only about honoring the memory of an incredible woman, Harriet Tabak, but it is also about the deep web of connections that we all have to the Torah. It represents a yearning for life, for Torah is planted within us. Chaye olam nata b'tocheinu. It represents a yearning for the connection to Jewish peoplehood and the eternity of Jewish peoplehood. That is what is symbolized by Torah. Every one of us is connected in our own special way. And that is something that we are incredibly proud of and also very humbled by. So mazel tov to all of us. Mazel tov for this accomplishment. Mazel tov for this statement of dedication, which makes Yisrael ve'oraita kuchabrichu chadu. Israel, the Torah, and God, we are one. In a moment, our sofer, Rabbi Saul Teitelbaum, will inscribe the last letter in this Torah. But first, I want to draw your attention to the new mantle of this Torah. We are following the style of the high holiday mantles. With this mantle, there's a special verse embroidered on it. This was the verse that was important to Harriet. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. This, perhaps the most important verse in the Torah, was inscribed in Harriet's heart. It was a source of comfort to her in the darkest times. And here in our ark, and as we read it, and we lovingly carry the Torah on Shabbat and holidays, it will be the visual link to the Torah dedicated in her memory. She was an incredible woman, and we miss her terribly. I would like to call upon Jeffrey Tabak now to speak on behalf of the family about our beloved Harriet Tabak and the meaning of this moment.
Thank you, Rabbi. It's been nearly 12 months since I last stood on this bima, on behalf of Stephen also, to talk about our mother, and nearly 24 months since my cousin Fred stood here to eulogize his mother, our Auntie Lane. Like many life events, both of these times seem a very long time ago, and at the same time like they happened yesterday. As you can imagine, these last 12 months have been incredibly sad and difficult for Stephen, my father, me, and our families, adjusting to the fact that our mother is not here with us. Like many of you have told us you have done, we too have instinctively reached for the phone to call and tell her something about us, her grandchildren, or to recount a funny story, or to discuss a Duke, Syracuse, or Morristown Beard sporting event, or the results of the latest tennis match on TV, or to seek her advice. And when we gather for family events, Jewish holidays, birthdays, or just dinners, we all expect that when we arrive, our Auntie Lane and Mom will be there. That Mom will be at the head of the table, offering a prayer before dinner, or a new special food for the holiday. It's inconceivable to all of us that we will not see them, laugh with Auntie Lane, and catch up with all that is happening with us, our friends, and the world. But they're not there, and that hasn't been easy for any of us to get used to. At our mother's unveiling, I read something that I had seen in the paper that very day. It was written in memory of someone else's mother, and it said, "She whom we love is not where she was before. She is now wherever we are." Today, neither Auntie Lane nor Mom are where they should be, sitting with us in this sanctuary, in this temple, where we all went to Hebrew school, went to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services, and where each of Fred, Stephen, and I became a bar mitzvah. Instead, we must comfort ourselves that we who are here carry Auntie Lane and Mom wherever we go and whatever we do. They are wherever we are and are always with us. I've told my family and friends that whenever I go to services, either here or at our synagogue, Road of Shalom in New York City, or anywhere else, the image that I have is sitting in our row in this temple for the high holidays. I not only see it, I feel it. At one end of the row sits my grandfather, Aaron, Dad and Auntie Lane's father, and it is for him and our grandmother Bee that Tabak Hall is named. At the other end of the row were our grandfather Mo and grandmother Dot, our mother's parents. In between the two sets of grandparents sat my Uncle Harold, my cousins Debbie and Freddie, my father, my mother, and my brother. And if Auntie Lane wasn't there physically, she was there in my mind. The image of our row makes me smile and cry at the same time. What a special time it was then to be with our entire family, and how sad it is now that our grandparents, our aunt, and our mother are no longer alive. But I know I don't have to see them physically to remember them and feel their presence. So when Dad, Stephen, and I discussed with Rabbi what to do to remember Mom, as he said, it was an easy decision. Dedicate the Torah, so that whenever we come to this sanctuary, whenever the ark is open, we will remember Mom and feel her presence even more. She would be honored to know that she will always have a place in this sanctuary, in this temple, because you all know how special this place was to her and to our family. And how special to have a simcha room in memory of our Auntie Lane and in honor of our Uncle Harold. When we say simcha, we all smile. It always signifies a happy and fun event. And I can assure you that when Uncle Harold, Debbie, Freddie, Dad, Stephen, and I, and our spouses and family and children think of Auntie Lane, we smile and laugh also. There are some Elaine-isms that can't be repeated in temple. But we know, and those of you who knew her can hear her saying them right now, and I'm sure they're making you smile. On behalf of Dad and Stephen, I would like to thank you and everyone who couldn't be here, those who made contributions to the temple in order to write in this Torah or just honor Mom's memory. As Rabbi said to us and to you, over $225,000 was raised. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, Mom, yet again, helped raise money for a Jewish cause she cared so deeply about. She didn't have to attend any meetings or make any phone calls this time. We simply announced we were dedicating a Torah in her memory, and she raised money on behalf of her beloved temple. Quite an accomplishment and quite a legacy. And something that Dad and Stephen, Marilyn, Gail, Jason, Brad, Harry, Kathy, Rachel, Max, Aaron, and I are so very proud of. Last year I quoted from a poem that ends with slight adjustments today to make it personal as follows. We can remember our Auntie Lane and our mother and only that they are gone, or we can cherish their memories and let those live on. We can cry and close our minds, be empty and turn our backs, or we can do what they would want, smile, open our eyes, love, and go on. Life goes on. In May, Cousin Fred married Tina in a beautiful ceremony in Philadelphia, and we missed Auntie Lane there very much. In 4 weeks, our daughter Gail, Mom's eldest grandchild, will marry Jason. Mom would have been part of every aspect of their wedding, and even without her physical presence, she will be there in every other way, wishing them a mazel tov and dancing the hora. We will all feel their presence, our Auntie Lane and our mother, at all family occasions and in everything we do. And we hope that all of you will feel their presence and honor their memories in this magnificent building when you celebrate a special occasion in the Simcha Room and when you come together in prayer in this sanctuary in front of a sacred Torah dedicated to our mother. Thank you.
I want to call upon Joe Tabak to say a few words.
I can tell you, it's obvious that Harry had raised our boys. As Jeff said, it's been a year since Harry has passed. However, in my mind, she's back in the form of a Torah. It's something I can see, I can hold, I can hug, and it gives me great comfort. Next to her family, Temple meant so much to her. On behalf of her family, I want to thank Rabbi Malamet, the Board of Trustees, for allowing our family to dedicate the Torah in memory of our beloved Harry. I want to thank everyone who participated in this dedication and all those who were involved in the scribing of the Torah. I can assure you that Harry is looking down on us through these very skylights, I'm sure, and is very humbled by this dedication. Allow me a minute to thank my boys, Jeff and Stephen, their wives, Marilyn and Kathy, and our wonderful grandchildren, for helping me get through this great loss. I know Mom and Grandma, Annie Lane, are watching over us right now and are so proud of all of you.
At this moment, I want to call upon our good friend, Rabbi Saul Teitelbaum, who will inscribe the last letter in the Sefer Torah. Now, I want to tell you that Rabbi Teitelbaum's relationship with the temple goes back decades. Rabbi Teitelbaum has a profound relationship, a personal connection with our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Hilsenrath, and his family, and served as our sofer from early on, and we have lots of stories. So it was very natural when I came here in 1994, I met Rabbi Teitelbaum with Rabbi Hilsenrath, introducing me to him, and over the years, we too became good friends. We go through a lot of our lives together. And one thing is for sure, Rabbi Teitelbaum always comes through for us. You may never know it because you never see when a letter gets chipped or erased or blurred, but he's always a phone call away. I have a subscription plan to him. he makes house calls. He's still one of the old school Sofrim that makes house calls, shul calls, and we adore him for that. And it's a great honor, it's a zechut for us to have him as our scribe for this last letter. And with your inscription on the last letter, allow me on behalf of the shul first to thank you for all the years, for you tending our scrolls and our mezuzahs and tefillin, and wish you long years, healthy years, good health, long life, and the satisfaction of knowing that your avodah kodesh, your holy work, is appreciated by each and every single one of us. Thank you. You can all rise. I want the family to come forward, the Tebak family, as we ceremonially inscribe the last letter.
Do me a favor, please. Handle over the bed to me.
Mazel tov. Simen tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Simen tov. Simen tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Simen tov. Simen tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Simen tov. Jew should recite 100 blessings each day. One of these blessings is the blessing of the Torah. So what we are going to do now is recite this blessing for the sake of learning, so that it's not to be construed as an aliyah. And this will serve as an introduction to the text that was just completed by our sofer, which our Torah reader Jonathan Ehrlich will now read. So now everyone, remain standing and we'll recite the bracha together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato Baruch atah Adonai notei haTorah.
וכל האותות והמופתים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל.
חזק חזק ונתחזק.
חזק חזק ונתחזק.
That is the concluding lines of the Torah. And now, join me as I lift the Torah and we'll sing Mizot HaTorah.
למחזיקים בה וטוב המרושע
place the Torah symbolically in the ark, and we'll all sing together. It's So now please be seated. Now friends, it was in mid-January of 2012, just over a year and a half ago, when Elaine Kaplan passed away after a long illness. Elaine grew up here. She was Joe Tabak's older sister. The story goes that after a date at the shore, she and Harold Kaplan fell in love. And the rest is truly history. Harold and Elaine were married in 1950, lived here in Highland Park, just a couple of streets away from the temple on South First Avenue. Elaine was a wonderful mother to Frederick and Deborah. Elaine was also an amazing woman. She suffered terribly throughout her adult life, but managed still to maintain an air of hopefulness and gratitude. She called herself the luckiest person in the world. When Elaine passed away, we thought of a good way to remember her in the temple as well. Since this is the place that she grew up in, and since Harold knew that this would be a place that would live on in the community long after her time here has been completed. We had a beautiful room upstairs, a very special room. Already, we have held many celebrations there, intimate gatherings, from kiddushes to brisses, baby namings, a bat mitzvah, a bar mitzvah. From time to time, we have a sisterhood program, a men's club program, a USY program, young couples program, wine tasting, which also includes a lot of joy. Good things happen in that room. All in all, joyous things, only joy. And there are even some times when our children play upstairs. So it's a place that is brimming with joy and with life. So I turned to Harold last February when I was in Florida. I said, here's an opportunity for Elaine's memory and as a tribute to you as well. Deborah, who is with us, loved the idea. We contacted Freddie and loved it as well. Everyone loved the idea. And so this too was a done deal. With tremendous gratitude, we want to honor your generosity by naming this important room in this way. May this room be the venue for many simchas in our long future in the congregational family. Harold, may your family's name always be associated with simchas. May Elaine's memory always be associated with joy and pride. And therefore, on behalf of the entire congregation, I declare that this room will henceforth and forever be known as the Elaine and Harold Kaplan Simcha Room, donated by Harold Kaplan, Frederick Kaplan, and Deborah Levine. Let it be a place where we welcome children into the covenant, where we name babies, where we celebrate the life cycle and all the major milestones with joy, with simcha. And may you, Harold, be blessed with health and well-being together with your family. May God prosper all your endeavors, and let us say Amen. Amen. Simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov. pleasure to call upon Frederick Kaplan. Deborah Levine can join us here.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, congregants and guests. Rabbi Hilton-Rath. As you heard from my cousin Jeffrey, my mother and Aunt Harriet were the latter-day matriarchs of our family, and we miss them dearly. They were very different people in substance and in style, but their values were shared in their love of family and community. They were taken from us within months of each other, and we miss them dearly. We are here today as family with one goal and one message: to celebrate their lives of my mother, Elaine, and my Aunt Harriet, and to perpetuate their memory in ways that would make them proud and bring all of us joy. My sister Debbie, my wife Tina, my cousins Jeff and Stephen and their children, and of course my father Harold. My father Harold and Uncle Joe are the patriarchs of this tradition and the benefactors of this tribute, along with you who are joining us today for this very, very special occasion, spiritually and communally. You have heard from my cousin Jeffrey about the new Torah and the anchors of faith and family. I would like for a moment to share with you a counterpoint of our shared heritage, that of celebration, which the rabbi spoke about, an essential part of our Jewish and family culture. Thank you for being here with my sister Debbie and my father Harold on this special occasion to dedicate the Elaine and Harold Kaplan Simcha Room in blessed memory of our mother Elaine. Our mother loved Highland Park, the people of Highland Park, and this shul. It was the center of her spiritual life for all of her adult life, regardless of where she lived and whether or not she could physically attend the services here. Just knowing that this synagogue was here made her happy, and it grounded her in a community she adored. Despite her formidable physical afflictions, our mother's mind was sharp and her sense of humor and love of family fiercely alive until the very end of her life. Our mother loved life, and she truly loved parties and celebrations, simchas of all sorts, especially those that revolve around family and friends. The word simcha was a cornerstone of my mother's vocabulary and the very essence of her being. As the rabbi mentioned, she endured service with wisdom and humor and grace, but she prevailed for simchas. Nothing made her happier than to see or hear or know that families rejoice over simchas, hers or anyone's. She got great knockus from other people's simchas. When others were happy, she was happy. And so it is entirely fitting and proper that our family dedicate this room here at the Highland Park Conservative Temple and Center for simchas in blessed memory of our mother Elaine. Through your happiness and your simchas, you will be honoring her memory. Thank you.
Friends, our dedication ceremony is almost complete. Before we conclude, I simply want to say a word of thanks to the dedicated workers at our Torah Dedication Committee. They're listed for us on the program. We say to you, Yasher Koach, thank you for all the hard work, lots of hours and meetings in preparing all aspects of this joyous day. Let's give them a great hand. I also want to thank our staff, and especially Linda Diamond, who behind the scenes takes so many phone calls and preparation and all the aspects, every aspect of detail that needed to be prepared for this morning. We thank you, Linda. I see Gary Mikoff, our mayor, here. I want to recognize you and thank you for being present here at this wonderful dedication. It's a great pleasure to have you and a privilege also. So following this dedication ceremony, we are all invited upstairs. If you can make your way upstairs by elevator or by the stairs, to the Elaine and Harold Kaplan Simcha Room for the light brunch sponsored by Joseph Tabak and Harold Kaplan and their families. For those of you that may have difficulty negotiating the stairs or the elevator, we will have some tables set up in the Legacy Room and in the Schwartzman Library. Now, for our closing benediction, I'd like you to rise, and I'm going to walk over to Rabbi Hilsenrath, who's going to offer us, together with me, our final bracha.
פתח ליבי בתורתך וסוסיך תדרוב נפשי. אדוני עוז יעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. May God grant strength to this wonderful family. May God grant them the fulfillment of all their hopes and their wishes and their valued commitments to this temple and to the Jewish people. May God bless the children of Israel with health, happiness, and the fulfillment of the meaningful part of their lives. And let us all say, Amen. Mazel tov.
Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'giyanu lazman. Amen. Blessed are you, God, who has given us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this joyous day. Mazel tov. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov.
Why don't you step down right in front over here next to her, because you're going to get cut off from the chairs. All right, here in the move in. There you go. Now I see. I'm going to take 3 pictures. Make sure everybody looks straight at me. Wonderful. 2 more. Last one. That is wonderful. Thank you. This is completely up to you if you would like to have one with you and just your sons. It's up to you. So you already positioned everybody else.